Okay. Guess it was on me. Good evening. I'm Cindy McMahon, and I'm the principal of the community school. And this is, thank you. This is so special. I know for our graduates, this is the culmination of 4 years of high school. They are so ready to be graduated. And for all of our families, this is probably 13 plus years of education, from preschool through kindergarten, through elementary school. I'm seeing people out there clapping. Yes, you made it all the way to the stage. So this is awesome. This is all for you too. Special night. We will begin with our land acknowledgement and flag salute led by David Goldblum, who will be attending Eastern Washington University to study criminal justice and computer science.
As we gather today to celebrate our graduation, we want to acknowledge that we are on the ancestral land of the Spokane tribe. We thank the caretakers of this land who lived and continue to live here since time immemorial. This land holds the knowledge, culture, and spirit of the people of the river. Now, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, David. Joining us on stage on this special day, I'd like to introduce our dignitaries, our Superintendent of Spokane Public Schools, Adam Swinyard, Dr. Adam Swinyard. Our President of the Spokane School Board, Mr. Mike Weiser. Area Director of the North Central Area, Nikki Golden. Our school counselor, Ashley King. And our 3 401 advisors, we have Dave Egley, Tammy Linane Bowie, and Dave Silver. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Swinyard to come up and say a few words.
Well, good evening, students, staff, and families. You know, life is made of millions and millions of moments, and some of those moments you remember forever. And this is a forever moment. And on behalf of the almost 6,000 employees that work for Spokane Public Schools, we are so honored that you've shared your child with us over these 13 years and really appreciative of your partnership. I do want to take just a brief moment to talk a little bit about the community school. And it is a special place, as you well know, where students are encouraged to develop a sense of connection and belonging, where everything orbits around a relationship and immersing yourself in the world around you. And I would be very grateful if you could join me in acknowledging the incredible staff that are serving your students every day. And students, we have one last piece of advice for you from Spokane Public Schools. We've told you a lot of things over the last 13 years, and before you head out and start a new journey, close this chapter, start a new one, we have one last piece of advice for you. And I think it's very fitting in the work that you've done at the community school over the last 4 years. And that piece of advice is to always live with love in your heart. You see, love is the most transformational force on earth. It transcends every single human emotion, interaction, circumstance. There is no divide it cannot bridge. Live with love in your heart. It sounds pretty simple. It sounds easy. It sounds very cliche. But it's not. What it doesn't mean is there won't be conflict. It doesn't mean you always agree. It doesn't mean there won't be harm. It doesn't mean you're going to get everything you want or always say yes. It doesn't mean you won't face accountability, and it certainly does not mean you're weak. Don't ever let someone tell you that the love in your heart is a sign of weakness. What it does mean is to show up in every moment with kindness and compassion, with empathy and forgiveness, seeking to listen and understand and make the world a better place as you try to find common good. Because the reality of it is, all of us, we need you more than you need us. We need you to go out and repair what's broken, and we need you to make anew the things in this world that have to change. So as you come across the stage and you get your diploma and you celebrate with your families and friends, know that we believe in you, that we love you, and that our hope is in your potential and your capacity to shape the future. Congratulations, students.
Thank you, Dr. Swinyard. And now I'd like to invite up Mr. Mike Weiser.
Thank you, Cindy. Good evening, everybody. It's an honor to be here tonight and represent the Spokane Public Schools Board of Directors to congratulate our graduates here tonight. So congratulations, graduates. I also want to thank staff as well for supporting these graduates over these last few years, and to families and friends who have done so over many, many years. So thank you, and thank you, everybody. This is a big deal, graduates. I wasn't able to participate in senior defenses this year. I have in the past. So I know the hard work that goes into presenting the culmination of your learnings at TCS, and it's stressful. It takes a lot of hard work. You have to combine so many things you learned in your journey and combine it with your personal goals and aspirations. And then you have to present it to strangers. That's always difficult. And getting to this point is an accomplishment of which you can be very proud. And I hope that you'll bask in that glow in the coming months and years, and think back on these times and be proud of it. Because that cycle of hard work and stress will certainly come back in life. It's a natural thing. I've been to a lot of graduations the last 7 years as a board member. Sometimes people share inspiring words like Dr. Swinyard's great speech about love. Sometimes they share a quote or two, or sometimes many, many quotes. The best are when students share their personal journeys. I think there are some speaking after me, and those are always the best. But each are trying to impart some wisdom to help ease the path going forward. I'm just going to share a single word, although it takes a while for me to get there. And I just learned this word, even though I turned 50 last year, and it really resonated with me because it explains the feeling I have right now, in fact. When I'm working on something important and doing what I'm most interested in, and that word is eustress. It's eustress, yes. E-U-S-T-R-E-S-S. I was going to ask for a show of hands of who knew that word, but I don't want to embarrass myself too much. I did ask my family, and no one knew that word, and I learned it, like I said, a few months ago. So I don't think everybody knows that word, but what it means is positive stress. And it describes a state of mind when you're not bored, you're not calm necessarily, but you're not stressed out, you're not in distress either, you're not overly anxious. You have a level of stress that's natural and quite good at keeping you on your toes. You're able to pay attention, to focus, and it supports your internal motivation to work hard on something you care about. Because if you weren't nervous, you probably didn't really care about that thing. So my message is simple. Just think about what that word, eustress, it doesn't mean anything related to the European Union, as my daughter thought. So nothing to do with Brexit, but what does it mean to you? Find that healthy balance of stress and let your nervous energy be a power source to help you do more great things in the future. So again, congratulations, graduates.
As Mr. Weiser said, there'll be students speaking, and the reason we do that, everything that we do at the community school, we put students at the center. So when it gets to time for graduation, we invite students to submit their reflections, and then we choose some speakers for our graduation. We have 3 wonderful speakers today, each bringing their own story. And first, I would like you to welcome Char Moore. Char will be attending Eastern Washington University to pursue a degree in social work.
Hi. Sorry. To the graduating class of 2023. I would love to say that this journey has been easy, but as we all know, it has been long and hard. I think our story has had many different beginnings within these last 4 years, but unfortunately, this will be the end. Although 4 years doesn't seem like a very long time in the grand scheme of things, I feel as though I grew up with each and every one of you. I watched as each one of us grew from the remnants of middle school all the way into adulthood. And although we only got 1 year truly not affected by the pandemic, I think we all had a high school experience to be remembered. In our 101 year, I remember all of us being reclused into small groups and cliques, but as the years went by, we started growing into each other. On March 16th of 2020, the whole world got paused. At the same moment that every person in Spokane was getting the news about the COVID-19 lockdown, our advisory was all on Mount Spokane with no phone service. I remember we all huddled into a really small cabin after we had just hiked up multiple miles up the mountain, and in silly snowshoes and all of our cheeks bright red, we all huddled together to take one of the first pictures of us as a class. And then we walked back down. I remember all of us talking about the experience on the way back into town. And as we all got phone service back, our phones were flooding with messages about the lockdown. As all of you know, soon enough, the 2-week spring break that we were all jazzed about turned into a full year without in-person school. And during online school, we would talk to each other through the chat boxes and Google Meets because we were still trying to connect, but we just had to relearn how. As a graduating class, we experienced the pandemic in our own way. Sorry. But it's also the biggest beginning for all of us as individuals. I can't wait to see who all of you guys grow into, and I hope to see you flourish in whatever comes next. Thank you for being my family for the past 4 years.
Thank you, Char. And now I would like to introduce Victoria Tashler. Victoria will be attending Spokane Falls Community College to study photography. Victoria.
First, I just want to express how grateful I am for having the opportunity to speak up here tonight. It's been a joy to get to know all of you, really. Vicky, I can't believe you haven't been here all 4 years. My classmates have reminded me this in abundance. As most of them already know, this is my first and only year attending TCS. Beforehand, I had struggled in the big box high schools of Texas. The buildings were crowded, disheartening, and musty beyond reason. The students were just as despondent. I was both excited and hesitant to attend TCS when I moved back up here. It could have easily just been another bleak school that had project-based learning tacked on the side to it. And to my surprise, I was met with a warm classroom of the most profound, cordial, sincere, and just outstanding people. On the first, well, not the first day, but a little before the beginning of the year, we had a senior meeting, and I was welcomed to the advisory by a handshake by my now friend Astor, and it was a remarkable first impression for me. For me to be able to find a home in the community should reflect positively on our graduating class. Community is something to be defined and intentionally upheld. There has been a conscious choice made to be as accepting, tolerant, and supportive as we have been. Part of the intentionality was how we defined ourselves as individuals. To participate in classwork or to not communicate with your project group, to help the Daves clean the classrooms or to just sit on your computer, to take a day to care for yourself or to explode angrily on somebody else. These are choices that we make that affect ourselves and those in the community. Choices. Yes, so we all find ourselves between a rock and a hard place at times, but we must be mindful of our reaction to this. Some days it's completely out of control, and other days the fault is on us. But we must be conscious that we can find grace and grow from our slip-ups, and not only our slip-ups, but the slip-ups of others. Thankfully, we have had the environment to learn in a healthy manner. As we leave the home that we built for ourselves, think of the good that we can take with us. How we live our lives is our choice from now on. Not your parents, not your bosses, not your partners. Your choice, your free will, your life. You will be the best that you believe you can be, and we've already created something beautiful at TCS, and that is a substantial stepping stone that we should all be proud of. Saying this seems like a standard farewell, but I wish the best for everybody here today. Dave says that we may have limited time, so choose to live your life while you can. Remember who you are, what you've come from, and where you may go. Choose community and choose love. Thank you.
And now I'm happy to present Astor Powell Peterson, who will be going to Central Washington University to pursue a degree in fine arts. Astor.
Well, thanks, Vicki. Your speech already made me cry, so here I am. I'm lucky enough to have been at TCS for all 4 years of high school. Even with the time we lost during COVID, I can't imagine who I would be without all of you. You've all taught me that family isn't just the people you live with or the people you see on holiday dinners. Family is the people who have seen your growth and seen you at your worst and still love you and still care about you. Over these years, I've got to watch all of you grow into the incredible adults you are now, through our struggles, through computer screens, and through the trials of every single climate change forward project you can imagine. At times, this year has been one of loss. In February, I lost 2 of my great-grandparents within a few days of each other, and I was hit hard by the loss, and I know that my mood was affected while I was at school. But during this, my peers carried me and held me close, and I'll never forget the hugs and the comfort and the pet pictures you all gave me. Thank you all. All of you have become people that I'm proud to call my classmates, and I hope that you're proud too. My freshman year, I never thought I would make it this far, let alone that I would be on my way to honors college, giving a speech in front of my new family. The support and community that I found through all of you is what got me this far. I know that for a fact. Wherever you're going and wherever our paths cross again, I want to wish you all luck on your journey. And remember that luck isn't just a chance or a coincidence. It's taking your shots and your opportunities when you're presented. After all, that's how I found this school and how I found all of you and how I was lucky enough to find all of you. I hope that you all find happiness on your path of life. We've all earned it, haven't we?
Thank you, Astor. And now it's time for final reflections from our 401 advisors. Our school is structured around a very robust advisory system. Our students meet with their advisory every day for 4 years, starting in 9th grade, and that builds right up to this stage. They're there for each other, as you could tell from hearing the reflections of our students. And the other remarkable part is the connection that they have with the adults. So I think you'll get a flavor of that when you hear from the advisors for this class. First up is Dave Egley.
Hoyo! Are you smoshing, class of 2023? You smoshing? All right, let's go. So class of 2023, I will say this. You used to be so naive. Like, there we were in 2019, starting high school, a bunch of 101s, freshmen, for those who don't know our TCS lingo. And little did we know what the next 4 years would hold. But I don't want to talk about any unmentionable pandemics or anything. I want to tell you something a little more personal. I used to be very naive too. I'm not at all anymore. I'm so wise now. But when I first got into teaching, I thought, oh yeah, social studies, I love it. I'm gonna teach about history and geography and social issues and maps and whatever. And we get into all that. That's true, we do that. But that's not what true quality high school education is about. It's about students growing and getting to know, and indeed, as Dr. Swinyard mentioned, love themselves. And that's what you've taught me. You've taught me that. Class of 2023, more than anybody, you have taught me that. Because you went through a lot. Education is about learning how to collaborate with others. It's about seeing the world for what it is. It's about calling for changes that need to be made. And it's about bringing that energy day to day. The reason I got up and came to TCS each morning, absolutely stoked, trying to bring that energy these last few years, is because I got to interact with you and witness you realizing your own power. That your voice matters, that you can make changes, both on an individual level and as part of a social revolution. And I think that's the right word, revolution. Because one person can make a change, you know that. But through collaboration and community, many people create a revolution. And that's what you've been creating at TCS. A revolution of love of self, love of others, of understanding, of building small and larger communities. You've done that, class of 2023, and I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional a little bit. I got this, okay. I want you to take that mindset with you into new communities and opportunities. I want you to help others realize their power, both individually and collectively. And I want you to keep raising your voice, because a lot is at stake. At our graduation defenses last week, the theme of students finding their voice just kept popping up, student after student. It was magical. So we've done something right when students keep talking about being empowered. That is exactly why I became a teacher. I didn't know it when I started, but that is why. I was naive when I started my career, but now I know. It's not about maps, it's not about curriculum, it's about you. You being inspired and loving learning and loving life. Always keep working on yourself and growing. It'll be a lifelong process. Indeed, it is through you, students, former students, that I grew wiser, and I want to thank you for that. So now what am I gonna do? It will be hard for me to not have you around. Who's gonna do crazy stuff with me, like taste testing Diet Right? Why did we do that? That was gross. Sorry, Diet Right people. Who's gonna build the sorriest looking gingerbread houses with me? How are we gonna? How am I gonna ever go forward without Dylan's sweet guitar riffs? Without Emmett's kooky autobiography chapters? Without Vaughn's remote control cars zipping past my feet? Without Char asking for feedback constantly, which is amazing, so much agency, I love it. Without Sierra eating a piece of paper on a dare from me. Without Violet's amazing shirts brightening my life. Without what are we going to call this, drummers? Let's just call it the community school drummers clave power slide. How are we going to drum without that? I don't know. How am I going to go forward without Aster making me question, well, everything? I could talk about each of you for hours. I've got to know all of you so well. So I'm just going to simply tell you this. I will miss you all. We will figure it out. Me and Lampy and Billy Bob, Abraham Blinken, Billy Bob Flash Bright, we will figure it out. And I will take the lessons that you, class of 2023, taught me. And I'm going to bring it forward to more students, like waves. You've taught me a lot, more than you know. Likewise, you, former students, you know your voice matters. And I'm absolutely thrilled to find out what you do with it next. You will make your own waves. You will bring the charisma. Congratulations, you earned it. Next up, my cohort in escapades, Tammy Bowie.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. So wonderful to be here on this night of celebration. I'm so honored to be with you in this historic building. Graduations are filled with tradition and ceremony. Traditions are interesting. In many communities, traditions are upheld and few really know why. That is one of the many things I love about being a part of the community school. We are continually evaluating our traditions. We ask, why are we doing it this way? Is this taking us to the place we want to be? Is this thing we do feeding our soul, moving us forward, teaching us? Advisory is one of those traditions that we are continually evaluating. This very unique relationship between one adult and a small group of students, the relationship between the student group and the advisor and family relationship. I speak with you tonight because of the advisory system we have, because of the relationship that I've built with these students and their families. Many high schools have advisory, but I believe it is only at TCS that the advisors give a graduation speech. So it is my honor to follow the traditions of past commencements, ceremonies, and reflect about my feelings about the class of 2023. Another tradition in high school is to have a motto, a chant. Most of these are associated with sporting teams. At TCS, we've continued to question our mottos over the years. Again, we push to make sure they're pointing us in the right direction. I think TCS started with keeping it real. That was before my time, but I think Dave's still rocking that t-shirt. We moved on to own your learning, a symbol of the agency it takes to be a project-based learner. Most recently, we did a complete logo and branding change and moved to do something that matters. I love that one. We should all follow that motto daily. As I reflected on this class in preparation for this moment, I realized that this advisory had a motto, one that we earned over these last 4 years. And maybe more specifically for my advisory, but really for all of us, our motto would have to be, stuff happens, deal with it. And man, oh man, have we had some stuff to deal with. And the hardest part for me, it was never anything we did, it was done to us. But there is the magic of the class of 2023. We are learners. We keep making plans. The plans keep getting smashed, and we keep getting up and going at it again. We have persevered, we have grown, we have become stronger than we ever thought or we ever believed would be possible, and we are ready. maybe more than any other graduating class in the past, to take on the world. When I think back to August 2019, the first time I met most of these beautiful people you see up here, it is almost like looking back at a fairy tale. Like Dave said, I felt like we were all so young and naive. Well, I mean, they were young and naive. I just felt like it. But those first few months of high school were so magical. I remember our first weeks of advisory meetings. They were so kind, so thoughtful, so willing to try new things and figure it out. They were having the best start to their high school experience. Now, I'm sure there was difficulty and struggle, and I may be remembering those times with rose-colored glasses, but it really was going great. Some of these students had been unhappy in middle school, and they were finding new great friends. They had been feeling unheard, and now they were starting to find their voice. They had grown bored with their education, and they were starting to feel challenged again. At the beginning of the second semester, we were on a roll. We planned a fun and challenging day to hike Mount Spokane. We all remember that so well. It was a glorious day in the woods. We were so tired and happy on the ride home, and then the phone rang. My phone and Dave's buzzing at the same time. The message was to get off the bus and get in the building. We need to meet. That's right, everyone. You're looking at the COVID-19 freshmen. Talk about perseverance. Little did we know it would be months, but those months taught us many more lessons. We learned new ways to connect and communicate. We learned how to learn on our own. We Zoomed into each other's homes and connected in the most unique way. This time made our bond stronger. Again, we didn't ask for this. It was not our plan, but it happened and we dealt with it. 201 year for this class was the most unplanned, chaotic ride. I don't think the best sci-fi novel could have predicted the ways we were asked as students to be at school that year. Online, hybrid. Was hybrid a thing before 2019? I don't even know. With masks, without masks, stay apart, stay close. And then again, they did it. They adjusted. They not only persevered, they grew. And there was more to come for this class. Speaking of tradition, there's another silly little TCS tradition in the room move up. Yep, it seems pretty silly when you only have one hallway, but it is a symbol of change. 301s get to move to the end of the hall. We were getting the big cool room 101. But when my class came back in the fall, they found out we were going to be the first class not to move. They had moved back down the hall to be next to the 101s. The class of 2024 was so big that year that they got the room that was supposed to be for us. Again, not our fault, but we dealt with it in style. On one of the first days in that room, someone grabbed a poster. We all started signing it. Somehow there was money involved. I don't know how that happened. We taped it to the poster and then we attached it to the ceiling, claiming our space. It wasn't until the last day of school that year that the poster fell down. We maybe should have seen that as a sign. But we were too busy loving life. During 301 year, we started to do all those things students should do. We planned events, we planned a senior trip, we even opened an Italian restaurant, for one night. We worked hard on projects and started to plan the future with job shadows and actually getting jobs. But in the spring of that year, trouble was brewing, another change in tradition was coming. Tradition at TCS is that there are 8 advisors for 8 advisory classes, and they stay together for all 4 years. At the beginning of this past year, we started with 8 advisories and only 7 advisors. We had an incoming class of 25 new 101s and no advisor for them. And this time, I did something that would affect them. I knew my students were strong enough to be without a full-time advisor, and I knew Dave's advisory was kind enough to welcome them in. So we switched to a single 401 advisory, and I moved down to the 101 group. It is hard to put into words how much I struggled with this, how many tears I shed, and it may seem silly, to those outside the community, but man, oh man, we get attached to these students. Here we were again, stuff we didn't start happening to us, and we dealt with it. We found ways to stay connected. We found ways to have some fun together. I'm so happy to have been able to take some of you on the college tour and some of you to Costa Rica, Pura Vida. It has been such a joy to watch you take your final steps to graduation. And we have learned some very important lessons. But here's a big one, that there is no struggle so big that it can't be figured out if you just sit down with your friends and talk and share a piece of cake. Through all this struggle, here we are, ready to go out into the world. And I want to share some stats with you that I think are pretty amazing about these students you see before you. 50% of the students up here started in my advisory. Of those 50%, 94% of those students have been with me since 101 year. That's an amazing retention rate. 25% of the students in my original advisory have been accepted into a trades program in automotive or electrical. 19% are graduating and have already taken college classes. Today we have 2 AA degrees. 32% are going to a 4-year university this fall, 25% to a 2-year college, 25% to the workforce. And here is the most important stat of all. 100% of the students in front of you have a plan for their post-high school experience. But
hi, Tammy.
I'm not done yet, Dave.
No worries. I'll do my best to finish this up. Let's give it up for Tammy. It's been an honor to step in as your 401 advisor. I would like to thank everyone here today, especially the graduates, for trusting and supporting me through a massive career change into teaching. I was hired early last fall and tasked with helping these students navigate through their 401 year. It's not been easy to deal with a newbie advisor your last year of high school. You had to show me the ropes, you had to bring me up to speed on the last 3 years, and I've learned a lot from you. Most importantly, I've seen the power of reflection. During projects, I observed many stages of learning, and I have realized reflection is the root of our deepest learning. Your graduation defenses were truly amazing presentations to witness. Watching you reflect on your growth over 4 years of high school was incredibly inspiring. I will leave you with this thought tonight. Be present with the small steps of your new pathways. Destinations can be amazing. Graduation feels awesome. Remember to take the time to reflect, and by now you are experts at that. So reflect often on this pathway to where you are headed next. It's that journey, the experiences along the way that are most important. Celebrate those experiences and embrace the journey.
Well, thank you, advisors. Now it's my turn to say a few words, some words about your future, but then also some words of gratitude. I just am really filled with gratitude tonight. To the staff of TCS, right here to my left, every day you create a culture where people can truly show up, where they can be their unique selves and are loved for that, bringing their gift to us. I am so grateful to work with these dedicated professionals that have created a community of respect and caring. Thank you. This is funny. I told them out there that I was going to comment on the whole staff, and that would be their that would be their cue, and they would go, yeah, and they just stared at you. That's them. That you clap at them. That was awesome. I also want to thank our guest facilitators. Some are here with us tonight, and they bring their love of things like art and yoga and dance and theater and chess and cosplay design and gardening and Afro-Cuban drumming and social justice and activism and healthy relationships and more. We could not do it without you. We are so grateful that you bring your passions to our elective program. I also want to thank the dozens of community partners who joined our integrated projects throughout the year. You've embraced our students and our mission to provide community, connected, authentic learning. We have worked with Spokane the business community, our university partners, numerous nonprofit organizations, local and state government officials, and so many more. We also couldn't do learning the way we do if we did not have all of those partners step up and want to be with us. And finally, our staff, and especially our graduates, want to acknowledge all of the parents, grandparents, and loved ones who have supported them through the years. Thank you. This past week, I too have had the honor of attending of each one of your graduation defenses. They presented before a panel of district, community, and business leaders who they didn't know, but generously donate their time so that they could listen to our students and impart their wisdom. Each graduate reflected back to their high school experience and made their case why I'm ready for graduation. They shared their plans for life after TCS. It was an inspiring and an emotional 6 days. I don't know if you know this, but each day when we would come back, we would just be filled up with emotion because you were so open about your experiences and about your futures and about who you were, and it touched us. We celebrate their growth during their years at TCS, and we believe they're ready for what's next. They've demonstrated that they've developed the skills and the attributes that are going to prepare them for life after TCS. They have explored important issues in our community, our country, and even globally. And our mission is to provide deeper learning for them to take the knowledge and the information that they research and then apply it to real things. And where there's struggle, there aren't easy answers. Through critical thinking and collaboration and problem solving, you have addressed some of the most important issues in our world right now. Artificial intelligence, social media, biotech, gene editing, sustainable food systems, addiction in the brain, racism, civic responsibility, social justice, gender and identity, income inequality. That's a short list. They go deep in what's happening right now, and they are very creative and critical thinkers, and they have great ideas. So you took those challenges, and you came up with creative ideas and took an active role in your learning. You debated things, you took sides, and then you considered how could you make an impact. You have established that you can do hard things. And so now you're ready to apply the agency beyond TCS. You're continuing into your continuing education, into your career, into your families, to your health, to the well-being of others. That's agency, and you know how to do that. You have the power to make things better. Commit to building trust in a time of division by listening to other people, even when their views are different, especially when their views are different. You know the importance of looking at all sides, and then make your own best decision. The road won't be easy. Life will deal challenges you didn't expect. Our friend, psychologist Kent Hoffman used to tell us, you just never know when people are walking down the hall what is going on with the burdens they may carry. So have an open heart for people. When your own heart is broken, know that that's an opportunity to grow your heart bigger and more compassionate. So in short, be courageous, be vulnerable, and be loving as you step into your next adventures. And as we say at the community school, do something that matters. Take your passion, your energy, and your love into the world. Challenge what's harmful to others and to our planet, and don't sit by when you can be an agent for change. Commit to making the world a better place. Like all of us have said, we need you. And while it's bittersweet to say goodbye to our 401s, it is time to set you free on your own new journeys. It's time for me to present the class of 2023. Congratulations.
All right, class of 2023. First row, will you please stand? Gavin Baldry. Emmett Bowling. Keno Bonzer. Lucas Brown. Danny Beckett. Clara Cesarato. Emily Gallagher. Jackson Gary. David Goldblum. Gabriel Jacobson. First row, please take a seat. Second row, will you please stand? Cameron Jarrett. Jagan Lamphere. Dylan Lane. Sophia Lopez. Celestine Lounsbury. Braden Martin. Joshua Martin. Cody McDaniel. Sierra McGinnis. IG Mirabzada. Second row, please take a seat. Third row, will you please stand? Char Moore. Link Myers. Eva Neville. Aster Powell Peterson. Vaughn Shamuk. Ethan Sharkey. David Shetzoff. Isabel Simmons. Sean Smock. Victoria Tashler. Aiden Thompson. Jalen Weshy. Congratulations, class of 2023. Third row, you can take a seat.
Class of 2023, please rise. I do hereby certify that these students have met all the graduation requirements set forth by the Board of Directors and Washington State. So, it's our tradition to close our ceremony with the community school drummers led by David Egley and Michael Moonbear. So graduating drummers, take your places. You may sit while we do our recessional. And we will lead them out with the TCS drummers.